Moving to another country can upend the entire world for a small child. How do you ease their transition? Today I'm sharing with you 24 tips from our experience as an international family for helping small children deal with international moves. Hi friend, I'm Sarah of My Home, Your Home, Our Home, and I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel because today's video is on a topic that's really near and dear to my heart and something that I do talk about quite a bit. It's international, multicultural, bilingual family life, and I also make videos on bilingual homeschooling if you're into that. So hit the subscribe button and join our community here. I want to just try to tackle this question that nags at a lot of international parents' hearts and minds. How do you help your children adjust? How are you not going to break your children in the process of moving to another country? And one thing that I do take comfort from, even just in approaching this topic, is that many other families have done this. And I have seen their children, and their children do grow up as well-adjusted human beings. There are some key things, though, that I think each family does that really help them to nurture their child throughout this process of a lot of life changes. So much is involved in international moves, so much changes for a child. It's basically upending their entire life, just like it is for us as adults. What are some things that we can do as adults to help our kids? Well, I have some tips that are specific to babies and toddlers because I have two little boys. Let me just share those with you first, and then I will launch into some tips that can be applied to any age range of children. When I'm moving internationally with a baby, which I've done a few times, then I like to do a few things to help ease their transition. And thankfully, babies are a bit easier than other ages because they're not as aware of their surroundings, though they are aware. And one of the first things is that I like to carry my baby in a baby carrier or wrap. And I have a few favorites. I will link all my resources mentioned in this video below in the description box so you can check them out. But carrying them in a wrap and keeping them close helps them to know that you are there is a comforting thing for them, and also helps you to keep them safe and close and make sure that you're keeping your attention on them. Because sometimes when I'm moving internationally, I don't give as much attention as I should naturally without having to be very intentional about it to my children's needs for water and attention and snuggles and all of that stuff that kind of sometimes sadly can be a little more easy to miss as your mind is occupied with a lot of other things. So keeping them close is a way to make sure that you're paying attention to all those needs. Try to minimize startling sounds and lights. I know this can be almost impossible sometimes when you're in the process of moving, especially in some countries. But trying to just shield them from that. You could use a baby carrier for that. You could also just try to keep them away from situations you know will be really startling, because there might be a lot of other startling and new things in their life already with this international move. So just like making sure that you're trying to minimize that for them can be helpful. Keep as much of your established routine as possible, and if you haven't yet established a routine, do it now, because routines help small children feel safe. They know what to expect. There's not a lot they can control about their lives, but a routine helps them to know what to expect, and so it helps them to feel more safe. And last one, make sure your baby is well fed and well rested. A well fed and well rested baby is going to be much more enjoyable to be around, especially when you are maybe lacking on sleep and you are struggling because of other mental pressure. Moving internationally with a toddler. Now this gets a little bit more challenging with the age increase, but sometimes some children's personalities make this change for them during toddlerhood similar to a baby's. Some other children take this very, very hard because they're toddlers and they're trying to make sense of their world, and their world just completely changes and all the rules are gone that they have learned before, or it feels like that at least. So with a toddler, there are a few things that you can do to help them to adjust. Here are some things that we do as a family. First of all, we reassure our son of our love for him and that we are not going to leave him, because that can be a big fear during all of this transition. Help your toddler to preview the move by reading books, by discussing the topic with them, maybe even showing them pictures of their new place. That would be an excellent idea. Now, toddlers might not have a concept for moving yet, so do a practice move. Maybe just from one room to the other, pack up your things, move there, talk about how you're going to do this with your entire house, and you're going to move everything. And then just address any questions or concerns that your child has. similar to a baby, keep as much of your daily routine with your toddler as possible. This again just helps them to feel safe and secure. Make sure your toddler is well fed and well rested. Lack of water, food, and rest never made life with a toddler any easier. And lastly, expect tantrums and meltdowns. These are not going to be abnormal. And if your child never does this in real life, congratulations, you have a wonderful child. But they might start doing it. So sometimes we'll notice some behavioral changes in our son. We definitely did during our last move. For several weeks beforehand, he knew something was up because he could sense in us our tension. Also see that things were kind of missing and being moved around. And so he became more agitated. He threw more fits. He didn't want to sleep when it was his nap time, and he usually goes down fine for a nap. So just expect this as part of the trip and realize it's going to be over at some point. If it continues past like months into your move, then maybe you just need to keep an eye on it as a parent. Things that aren't normal for your child, keep an eye on those and see if they're resolved or not. Do what you feel is best in your situation, but realize tantrums can be a normal part of all of this. Okay, let's dive into some tips from our family's experience. These are 24 tips for moving abroad with small children. The first tip is to break the news gently and early. Don't wait until the last minute to share with your children what's going on as if it's a surprise and it's going to be something that you're trying to force them to be excited about, because that really doesn't help with processing, especially for slow processors. Children need time to adjust mentally, sometimes more time than we realize. Number 2, prepare yourself mentally to accept whatever your child's response is to the news of your move. It might not be what you want, desire, expect, and you have to be okay with that because it's their response, it's their feelings. You don't have to accept behavior attached with that feeling or outbursts attached with that feeling, but you do need to realize that their response is their honest feeling about this situation. You can help them with this by choosing your phrasing carefully, showing them clearly that you're not expecting them to or requiring them to respond with excitement or another feeling, but instead you want to hear their opinions about this. So telling them like, we are moving, how do you feel about that? This is what we're going to be doing. This is why we're moving. What are your thoughts on all of this? What do you want to say? And approaching it that way rather than saying, we're moving, we're so excited. Aren't you excited about this with us? Oh, think of all the things that we're going to do. I understand breaking the news that way because we want to kind of build things up to keep from sadness, but that sometimes isn't so helpful actually for processing mentally and for our relationship with our kids. So instead approaching it from, let me hear from you, rather than I'm giving you this feeling, come on, let's go. And along with that, number 3 is don't negate your children's feelings. When they do express them, allow them to express their feelings honestly and openly. This will really help your relationship with them and help them to feel more secure in the move. It kind of sounds ironic that we don't want them to express these things because we want them to be excited about it, but actually allowing them to express these things and processing it through all of the emotions and thoughts and fears and concerns with them can help them to actually feel more secure and well adjusted during the move. Therefore, meet your child's anger, misbehavior, protest, and anxiety with gentleness and reassurance of your love and care. Even if you don't like how your child is responding to something, you can show them love. Even when you have to discipline them maybe for some outbursts, you can still show them your love and care and your concern. Maybe talking to them about why they handled it that way. What was the concern or fear that they had, and then talking through answers to that concern or fear. Number 5, set up routines and traditions that you can continue anywhere in the world. These routines can involve specific foods, daily routines, birthday traditions, holiday traditions, bedtime rituals. Think of things that you can continue no matter where you are in the world, no matter who is in your community. You can still do the same bedtime things. Number 6, make significant memories in your last few months in your country. Maybe make a bucket list together with your child of the things that you want to do, foods you want to eat, places you want to go, people you want to see before you leave. Number 7, take photos of their memorable spots, people, and places and memories. Bring those with you on your trip so that your child can look back on those when they're feeling sad, and they also have something that they can physically remember Number 8, try to bring emotionally significant possessions with you. If there's some kind of blanket, a stuffed toy, a specific book, or something like that, try to make it a priority to bring it in your luggage. Some things are impossible to bring, like you're probably not going to be able to bring a wardrobe or that kind of thing, but try to find the smaller things that you can bring with you. And if you can't bring the entire thing, maybe bring a piece of it or make it into something else. Like if you have a big quilt, maybe make a stuffed animal out of it and bring that with you. Number 9, give them time to say goodbye to a pet and help it adjust to a new home. Making your child part of the process can be helpful sometimes. So maybe saying, we're going to take this pet to its new home. You can give the instructions for what this pet likes. Let them know how they should pet it, what food they should give to it, and just maybe preparing the family who's receiving the pet beforehand is just saying, hey, my child's saying goodbye to this pet. They would just like to give you some advice from things that they have learned about their pet. Number 10, show photos of your new home, community, surroundings to your child. Help them to anticipate what it's going to be like, and maybe even giving them a video of that would be helpful. Number 11, read books about your new home. If there are books about your new home country, new home state, new home city, wherever it is that you're moving to, then try to read books about that and answer questions. And reading these stories can also provide a child with a narrative for their own life so they can know what kind of life they can expect. Number 12, if possible, let them write or call someone who is in the new place. Maybe someone they're going to connect with at school or someone they're going to connect with within the community. It's just a great way for them to anticipate what's coming. Number 13, write a storybook about this move with your child as a main character. This is a great way to show your child what is going on, and to also just including them in writing the story can help them to address fears or show you what their expectations are about this move or this new place. Number 14, make plans for your first month in the new place. What are some sightseeing things or homemaking things that you could do together? Number 15, make a goodbye video or letter. Let your child express everything they want to say about the people that they love and the places that they love. Number 16, record videos of your old home so that your child can look back on them later. Number 17, bring pieces of home with you. When my family moved, one time we noticed that our son really gravitated towards his bath toys, and they were really simple, small bath toys, but when we put them up in our new home, he immediately recognized them and felt more at home, and we could tell that. And so just taking those pieces of home, whatever it is that your child sees as signature pieces of home, try to take those with you and put them up in your new home as soon as possible to signal this is our new home. Number 18, stop and give affection and attention to your child. This is not a formal thing. It doesn't have to be within your scheduled day, but you can also set reminders on your phone if you need them. But just reassure them of your love and care, especially if your child is having a rough day with a lot of misbehavior and emotions. Number 19, plan a one-on-one date with your child. This is taking the affection and care a step further and showing them something very intentional and planned. Number 20, pray together for your old home and your new home. As a Christian family, this is something that we do together with our children, and it helps them to realize that God is taking care of them no matter where they are in the world. Number 21, have your child draw a picture of the old home and put that picture in a special place where they can see it. What will your child remember about their old home? And then maybe have them draw a picture of their new home, and this will show you what they expect or some fears that they have, concerns that they have. Maybe it will show you that they're really, really excited. Are they drawing a castle? They have high expectations. Number 22, plan a goodbye party. Give closure. It's so important to get closure as adults, but also children need that specific date and time to say goodbye to people. Number 23, give your child and yourself time and space to grieve. Realize that you are also processing through grief, and try not to put that on your child, but also give them time to process in their own way, in their own timeline, and be okay with that. Number 24, let your child help you pack. This helps them to be part of the process of putting their things all into luggage and moving them. It's not just them losing everything. Instead, they're focusing on what they're taking with them as well. And that can be really a simple concept for us as adults, but maybe for kids it's not so much of a thing because they just see everything going away, and then they're going to be leaving everything they know behind. And so where is all their stuff? So maybe letting them help you pack, especially small kids, can help them to see this is where my things are. And then when you arrive, letting them help you unpack. So that you see, hey, this is where all my stuff is. It came safely. It's all here with us. Okay, those are all my thoughts and tips on international moves with little kids. We as a family find ourselves within the throes of yet another international move, and in a few more months we're going to be whittling down all our stuff again and moving again overseas, and this time for a bit longer time, hopefully. We have seen in our boys just a lot of different behaviors and emotions than maybe sometimes we would expect as parents, and we found these tips to be helpful for us as a family, so I hope that they're helpful for you as well. If so, give a thumbs up and give me your best comments and tips below for international moves with kids. Maybe tell me, where are you planning on moving, if you want to share that, and what are some things that you've noticed have been helpful for your family in an international move, or questions that you have. Let's all address these as a community here. Thanks so much for joining me for this video today. If you haven't yet checked out my other videos about travel and multicultural bilingual family life, you can check this out in the playlist and video here. I will see you guys again soon. Love you. Ciao.